we're live here this evening. Well, this is your host, Mae Renfroe, and welcome back to another episode of Mighty Monday. And as always, I'm just super excited to get to talk to my guests here on my Monday show, just about things that God's done in their life and how they're helping others now through their story. It's really, really neat. So I like that. So I'm the host, Mae Renfroe, and I have my guest tonight, Franchell Ryna on with me. She is known as the Navigation Strategist. She's a motivational speaker, preacher, and Christian influencer dedicated to helping others strengthen the relationship with God. As a prayer intercessor and motivational coach, she empowers individuals to face life's challenges with unwavering faith and confidence through her impactful events, inspiring podcast, and transformative coaching. Franchell equips her audience to grow spiritually and navigate life with purpose and clarity. Wow, I really like that. You have got a lot going on, and that is so beautiful. Like we talked about strengthening, a relationship with God. It's so important. So just big welcome, Franchell, tonight on Mighty Monday. I'm so excited to have you here.
Yes, thank you. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Thanks. You are welcome. Yeah, I'm excited for you to share more of kind of what you do and what brought you to this place of where you're this motivational speaker and preacher and helping others and why you're passionate about that. So if you'd like to maybe introduce yourself, like anything else you want to share with us, or can I get into your story and where you're at today?
Yes, so I'll share a little bit more about me. Again, my name is Franchell Ryna. I'm a wife going on 10 years next
Oh,
month, June 20th.
yeah.
So I have four kids, 10, 5, 4, and 1. We have a little joke going. We have been moving like a military family, but we're not
Oh, okay.
military. My husband
Oh,
was in
okay.
athletics, and so every time we
Uh,
moved to a different state, we would have another kid.
okay. So new move,
But
new child.
yes,
Okay.
so well, we've been in Columbus for a
Oh,
while now. So our last two children that we've had have been here, but we've already told the family and let them know we're done. We're not having any more kids, regardless of where we move next.
okay. Mm. Okay. So where are you located now? I can't remember what you said.
Yes, we're in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, okay. Ohio. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Up there.
so
I
we
haven't made it up there. Our family does a lot of traveling, but we haven't made it up like that area of the states. But anyway, go
yeah,
ahead. You said.
it's really nice. It's really beautiful. If you love
Mhm.
nature, um, and good food, different food, but good food, definitely come and visit Ohio.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, we're in Texas right now. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Hello. It's on.
Hi.
Okay. So where kind of do you want to start with your story and where you are today? Can you?
Sure. So for me, my relationship with God has always been important to me. I grew up in church. I was very active in church, started different like clubs and things for us as youth for us to do so we could enjoy coming to church. So me being kind of like a leader, even though I didn't want to call myself that at that time, was something that was kind of instilled in me. Went off to college, came back, started more things at my church that I was at that time. And so making sure that we have the tools we need to grow our relationship with God, but also have things that were fun and engaging has always been a part of my life. And then we got to a point where I had gotten married, had my daughter, and I was just spending time with God, telling him really that I wanted to have a deeper relationship with him.
Mhm.
And when you say things like that to God, it
Mhm.
usually comes with some twists and turns that you really don't expect it to have. And so we were in the
Mhm.
process of moving from our hometown in Charleston, South Carolina, to North Carolina. And I had told God, I forgot that I had told him I wanted to spend more time with him. And so for about 6 to 7 months, when we relocated to North Carolina, I was unemployed.
Mhm.
I tried to apply everywhere. I had retail experience. I tried applying to Target. they wouldn't hire me. I mean, every interview I went on, none of them were successful. And so during that time, I really was just crying out to God, trying to understand the season that I was in. And that's what really birthed my ministry. I would go
Mhm.
live, like we are right
Mm.
now, but on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
would just look up different scriptures of things that I was struggling with, and I would just go on live and give other people encouragement, like I was encouraging myself. That's something
Mhm,
I love
mhm,
to say in my segments. I hope this bless
mhm.
you like it blessed me, because it really
Yeah.
was
Okay. Yeah.
encouraging myself through that time of understanding where I was. And so now looking back at it, he did exactly what I asked him to do, to spend more time with him, to be in his
Mhm.
word, to listen to praise and worship music nonstop, to praying nonstop, to fasting, to just being in my word nonstop. I was able to do that. And so that's really what birthed me having my ministry and to what it is now.
Mhm. Oh, wow. Yeah. So from that place of when you really cried out to God, and then Him enabling you and just having the passion to help others, kind of as
Yeah.
you were
I had to go deeper.
getting your own straight from God. Okay.
Yeah, I had to go deeper in that
Yeah.
relationship with him. So I feel like that isolation time, we had just moved to North Carolina. I didn't know anyone there. I'd already gotten our oldest daughter at the time. She was the only child that we had at the time, situated in school. So I had that time to really spend with him.
Mhm.
And it was a powerful moment. Like I said, that really is what kicked off me growing deeper in that relationship with him, not just
Mhm.
doing religion, but growing a true
Yeah.
relationship with him. That's when it really started. So like 2017, 2018.
Oh, wow. That's good. And that's where it's at. That relationship is so important,
It
and not
is.
just right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's needed. It's needed to kind of prepare you for any trials or tribulations that you may go through. It gives you that endurance, that perseverance that you
Mhm.
need for when those troubling
Mhm.
times come, you
Mhm.
have something to fall back
Mhm.
on. And so it's key.
Mhm.
It's key to have for sure.
Yes. And that's what he's desiring for us. So sometimes when he leads us through the hard times, we can end up walking through some difficult things. We might cry out like, what's going on? Like, kind of, this is unfair. This shouldn't be. But he's kind of like, he's wanting our hearts. He's wanting us to come to him, and sometimes it takes walking through the hard things, as can be in those darkest places that his light is the brightest. Is the way I've heard it. And yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's neat. And so you're dedicated to help others strengthen the relationship. Kind of what does that look like? In what ways? How do you help women in that?
Yeah. So I'm on various platforms. I'm on YouTube, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. So I will go live. I usually do a Trust God Tuesday segment where I'll do a video about a certain topic. I'll definitely go do live prayer on Mondays. I'm trying to get back into doing live prayer on Fridays again.
Oh, okay.
And I
Wow.
just started to
Wow.
incorporating doing um coaching. And so now I'm doing coaching for women, specifically millennials who are learning how to grow their relationship with God, who are moms trying to navigate their own identity and building that relationship with God, but also being a thriving mom. And then I also help moms who have lost their mom. That was a challenge that I experienced about 4 years ago when my mom passed away. And so I understand that grief process that a lot of ladies are
Mhm,
have experienced with losing their mom, but also is still a
mhm,
mom. And so they're trying
mhm.
to figure out, navigate motherhood without their mom, the person that they would go to for answers, the person they
Yeah, oh,
would
yeah,
seek for
yeah.
guidance. And so I've started offering coaching services for those, for all ladies, but those are my specialty areas that I work with.
Yes. Wow. That is so good. And so, I'm sorry. When did your mama pass away?
It well, right now, 3 years ago. So it'll be four
Oh,
years
wow.
this September.
Yeah,
And I just had
yeah.
a baby.
Okay, well, so you
Yeah.
must have found this really hard at this time. I mean, again, to navigate this has been still fairly recent. And yeah, after having little ones, and then your mom is not there to be able to help or to share, share in that and just all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
So that
very
was,
challenging. And yesterday was Mother's Day. And
oh, for sure.
yeah, and for
Yeah.
me, I was just telling one of my coworkers earlier. She asked how it was, and I told her honestly, this was probably the best Mother's Day I've had since my mom passed because I was
Yeah.
not so bogged down with grief.
Yeah.
I decided with spending time with God that I would celebrate the memories that I had with my mom, and also not feel
Mm.
guilty for celebrating myself as being a mom. And that was something I struggled with for the last couple of years for Mother's Day. I was so focused on the loss of my mom. I was so focused on
Mhm.
her not being there. I was
Mm.
so
Yeah.
focused on me just wanting her there. But I had conversations with God, and I prayed, and I fasted, and I pleaded to him that I needed this year to be different. I needed this year to feel to have more strength. And so I was surrendering that grief to him because he understood. He understood that I was angry
Mhm.
sometimes. He would
Mhm.
tell me it's
Mhm.
okay to be angry because I was still dealing with those different stages that comes with grief. But this year I celebrated my mom. I looked at our pictures and I was happy,
Mhm.
and I know how blessed I was to have her as a mom. And then I
Mhm.
celebrated myself as a mom. And so, like I told my
Oh,
coworker,
wow.
this was one of the best Mother's Days since she passed. So I was really happy that God heard my prayers and I had a good Mother's
Yeah.
Day. Yeah.
Wow, that is nice. And yeah, helped you to kind of change your focus a bit. It kind of turned things around instead of grieving so much of what wasn't and what you didn't have. It was like being thankful for what you did have, and
Hmm.
how long you had your precious mom and just all the memories and all those things and just being sorry, like more like grateful coming at it with like gratitude in the picture. And it's
Hmm.
wow. That
Yeah.
definitely changes everything, doesn't it? To have a heart
It It
of
does. It
gratitude.
does.
Mhm.
I'm so glad that I started to shift my mindset with prayer, with fasting, with therapy. It really did
Mm,
help me to kind of see things in a different perspective. And
mhm,
it took some time. Like I said,
mhm.
this is the first year. I know it's still early in the year, but I've been going
Yeah,
good so far, and so I'm blessed that
yeah,
I've had the tools, and I know I can lean on him
yeah.
continuously throughout this process.
Oh yeah, just keep talking to him. I know. I definitely really found that really good. I think I know I mentioned it to you. I believe that I had lost our 14-year-old son in 2017, and yeah, just really talking to God and just praying about things just really helped, and just together just saying, God, what do we do, or whatever, how do you want me to act in the situation, like, and just being grateful, like finding things to be thankful. And it really just felt good when I just say, God, thank you, you're with me, I know you're here, I know you hear me, and it's,
Mhm.
yeah, like you said, like, the scriptures, that so many scriptures about giving thanks, and it says to give thanks in all things, for this is the will of God. And so there's a reason he told us that is for our good, and
It's
for our
so true.
health. Right? And everything, it affects everything, our mind, body, and soul. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in those moments when we don't understand. We don't
Mhm.
understand why it
Mhm.
happened. His
Mhm.
word, that love he has for us, that compassion that Jesus has for us, is what you have to truly lean in on in those
Mhm.
times, for sure.
Mhm. Wow. Yeah, that is so good. So what is like, what think would you like to be able to tell, other mothers that find themselves in that right now? Um,
Mothers
anything
who
else like in that
are
way
are kind of dealing
that
with
really
grief
helps
right
you?
now.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe the grief of their mother, or of, other, significant loss. Yeah.
Um, I would say for anyone who's dealing with any type of loss of a child or a parent, um, I would say that it is okay to grieve that person. It is okay to have those feelings, and sometimes, um, especially if it's us, like a mom, and we've lost a mom or a child, we kind of just keep going. We kind of keep going. We kind of compress
Mhm.
those press those feelings
Mhm.
down. We try not to feel those emotions, but it's okay to feel those emotions, and it's okay to cry out to God. I think sometimes we feel like we have to press it down, we have to keep going, we can't stop, we have to keep
Yeah.
progressing,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah.
don't really take that time to deal with the feelings that you have. And so, one of the things that kind of came out of the passing of my mom is a prayer journal. Let me grab it. It's
Oh,
right here. Sorry.
okay. Oh, that's okay.
See if I can grab it. Hold on one second. Sorry.
That's okay. No problem.
Okay. I made a prayer journal. And this was something that really helped me when my
Oh,
mom died.
wow.
I
Yeah.
wrote down all my feelings all the
Yeah.
time, for me to kind of really get it out
Yeah.
how I was feeling.
Yeah.
And so I really started working on this prayer journal when she first got sick. But I kind of put it down after
Mhm.
her health started to decrease more, and then flying back and forth, and then she passed. So I kind of just put it on the sideline. I finally got it done this year. And so I'm really excited about that. But I would tell anyone to not um, compress their feelings, to feel, to express to themselves, to express to God how they feel, and to
Mhm.
know that each day is different. Today you might be feeling,
That
full
is
of
true.
grief, but tomorrow might be
Mhm.
different. You might see something that makes you smile, or see a
Mhm.
commercial that you all used to laugh about. So
Mhm.
cherish those happy moments as well, and
Mhm.
just really allow yourself to go through the waves of the grief
Mhm.
journey, because some days are better than others. And think about the person that you might have lost. They would want you to keep going. They would want you
Mhm.
to be happy. So no,
That's right.
there's no reason for you to have that guilt, to feel like
Mhm.
you can't be happy anymore because they're not
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
Um, and for me, I struggled with letting anyone, like a mother figure, come in to my life at that when it
Mhm.
first happened. And that was something that I did when my dad passed, when when I was a child. I wouldn't let any other male figure kind of take his place.
Mhm.
And I realized once my mom died, and just, like I said, spending time with God, He didn't want me to do that again, because that was it affected me in the long run, of not
Mhm.
allowing any male figures to kind of take that place.
Mhm.
And so I do have female figures that are like mom figures in my life, like my mother-in-law. I have a coworker. Her name is Miss Tara, and she's like a mom to me. Like, she checks in on me, she prays for me, she encourages me.
Mhm.
And so I allow those people to still come in and
Mhm.
love on me, and not isolate myself from anyone that wanted to pour into me. So yeah.
Mhm. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm glad you have her. It's nice, and what you said, I can really relate to that too, and it being like in waves, and then sometimes feeling guilty when you were feeling good and laughing, and then it was kind of like, oh, how could I be when I've just lost, you
Yeah.
know, a child, and it was, but they want you to be happy. They would want you to keep going on life. That that they especially, when you have other other kids, I mean, take care of another, you got to be there for others. Of course, they would want that, but it's hard being the one left behind.
Yeah. It
Mhm,
is. It
mhm,
is. And so and like I said, it's okay to feel those feelings. Some days it's not a good day, and you have to. For me, I used to not say anything. I wouldn't tell my husband I was
mhm,
having a rough day.
mhm,
So
mhm,
he probably didn't know for honestly, the first 3 years, that
mhm,
I was struggling, because I would just put it down. Like you said, I have kids. I have to keep going. I'm a mom, and so they're looking at me to do all of my motherly duties, and so it was rough at the beginning. But I know now, moving forward, I'll tell him, hey, I'm struggling right now, and so I need you to tend to the kids maybe a little bit more right now, while I just take this time for me. So
mhm. Yeah, well, that's really important. Well, I'm glad you're doing that. Sounds like you found how to grieve well. So you're grieving, you're enjoying, and being able to remember, the good things with your mom and cherish that time that you have. Yeah. I think these things help us to cherish our life, and really try to make the most of our relationship that we have. Yeah, with my other children to notice that. And I did end up losing my dad a year after my son. And then I lost a brother actually a year after that. The vehicle accidents was three really close to each other. I still have my mom, and she's, I think, 83. Yeah, so I'm really, really glad. Still very thankful to have her with us. Yeah. Mhm.
It is.
Um, if I could kind of go back to where we're talking about relationship with God, is there like what could you share with maybe those that are really just maybe not feeling that relationship. Sometimes we can have the dry seasons. I think we know, about God, and we know He's there, but then we're maybe just not feeling it. So, how do we strengthen that? What does the person do to really cultivate the relationship with God?
I think one of the things we can do, especially when, like you said, you're having that dry season, you're having that season where you're crying out
Mhm,
to Him for something
mhm.
and He's not really responding in the way you want to.
Yeah.
Go back to the time that He did respond. Go back and remind yourself of the memories that what the times when you did ask for something and He did bless you. And so I write things down. I use my prayer journal.
Yeah.
I write these
Okay.
things
That's
down.
where that
So
comes. Yeah. Yeah.
that's where that
Yeah.
comes. It really helps me to know, okay, I remember this time and he did it then. And oh, he did it this time and he did it this time. So reminding myself because the enemy
Oh,
will try to
wow.
put it against you like, oh, God isn't going to answer your prayers. He's not going to do it for you. You have key things that he's done specifically just for you in the past to prove to the enemy, no, you're wrong. He's done this before. He's done that before. So that's one of the ways I do it.
Mhm.
Another thing I like to do is I love to listen to sermons, and so I will
Okay.
go put in a topic on YouTube. 'Cause I love YouTube.
Mhm.
I'll go put in a
Mhm.
topic or a specific preacher that I love to listen to,
Mhm.
and look
Mhm.
for a sermon that's going to correlate to what I'm dealing with, and then I will write out my notes. I'll write everything out. I'll listen to it and see those steps that and those tips that they give, how I can incorporate that during
Mhm.
this challenging time that I have. And so when they give those scriptures, I'll also go back and read the Bible for myself. So those are like the three things that I love to do. I love to write out my thoughts, read and see what he's done before, listen to a
Mhm.
sermon, which is correlating to a Bible in the story, a
Mhm.
story in the Bible that's correlated to what I'm
Mhm.
going through, and then reading it again for myself in the Bible.
Mm. Oh, wow. Oh, that's really good advice. And I like that one, especially when listening to different sermons and looking up maybe on a specific topic or something you're going through. And I think we really need to come into it expecting, to hear from God, right? That's what I would like to. I'm like, what does He have for me? What are we going to hear? You had your note paper ready, right, to take
Mhm.
down these notes that spoke to you. And I've been listening to things, and they were just like exactly target on that I was needing. And I'm like, I could just feel like God just knew what I needed. I think you need
Yeah,
tricks because when we're searching, we'll find. He said, "Seek, and you shall find it. Oh,
us.
seek and knock, and what? I'm not,
No.
and the door will be opened unto you." Oh, we're supposed to be coming hungry and thirsty when we deal. And it's a continual. I think this is a journey in life. Relationship with Jesus is going to be we're journeying and keeping it going until the day we meet him
Hmm.
and in person. So like we're just continually seeking, knocking, finding, seeking, knocking, finding. And so I like that you said that. We need to come expecting and then what was something else you said? Also, we got to remember too when there's times that we don't just he doesn't answer just the way we wanted and the way we got to go back to what we know about true is true about God, right? That He is good, that He is faithful, that He keeps His word, that He'd never leave us nor forsake us. And when we go to that, and that encourages us, and just start praising Him for who He is, because He's worthy of all of our praise. I think that helps.
Yes, it does. And sometimes we think that we know better than God. We struggle
Mm.
with that
Mm.
sometimes, thinking like
Yes.
this is the way you want it. Because if I'm
Oh
honest,
goodness.
I struggled with that last month. I was expecting him to do it this
Mhm.
exact way, and he
Mhm.
didn't do it. He still did it, but not the way I wanted it. And I was so focused on the fact that he didn't do it the way I wanted. And I had to sit back. I was like, okay, this is totally not right. He still did it. He did it the perfect way that he was supposed to do it. Just because I
Mhm.
had a mind, my mind set on it being that way doesn't mean that was the
Mhm.
perfect way. The way he did it was perfect. And so
Yeah.
that was something that he taught me last month, was having those expectations. Having those
Mm.
expectations and them not being met. And so that was one of the things that I really
Mm.
prayed with God with this month, is that his will be done. His will be
Wow.
done. I have what I want to be, but
Mhm.
his will be
Mhm.
done, and being more willing, checking my heart
Mhm.
posture.
Yeah.
That was a that was my thing. Checking my heart posture for what he's
Oh,
going to do for me
wow.
this month.
Yeah, and just really seeking and desiring his will. Yeah,
Yeah.
lay your desires out, there. But if we have certain expectations and then thinking that he's going to meet that in that way or in that time frame, and he doesn't, then we're like upset and we're like, well, why didn't you come through for me? Why didn't you do this? I know you can't. I've had those
Yeah.
thoughts. I'm like, God, I know you could, like right now. So why didn't you? But it was like his thoughts are just not our thought. Like, right, his ways are not a way. He does things in that perfect time, in the right time, and I've been able to see it too in situations now too. When I fight back, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Now I can see. It's like, oh, I guess it wasn't quite the right time. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. And the more we pray for him to guide us and lead us, he will. So then sometimes I've had like closed doors on something I thought was an opportunity for an open door and it closed. You have to realize, well, I was praying for his will, and so we do want that, but it's
Yes.
hard.
It is
So hard.
hard. It is hard.
Hmm.
It's that daily surrender of our flesh, that daily
Hmm.
surrender of us being in control, that's really
Hmm.
needed. And that's, I would tell anyone that is, wanting to be a believer, who wants to grow their relationship with God, it's daily surrender. Every morning, daily surrender.
Oh wow.
Every morning, daily surrender of your control, like truly allowing God to have his way. Because in the end, his way is perfect. It's
Yeah,
always perfect. It's always going to be perfect.
it is. It is. Yeah. So just keep uh, just seeking that, desiring. I'm just laying down uh, the things the way we thought and way we wanted things to work out and say, not my will,
Hmm.
but your will. That's what I want. At the end of the day, that's all I want.
Yes.
Just keep doing
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a daily struggle, but
Yeah.
every day we should strive for that.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
should
and he
definitely
gives us
strive
the
for
strength, right? When we
it.
ask him, he's there with us. He's our constant help. That there's a verse in Isaiah 46:1, no, Psalms 46:1 says he's our help in time of trouble. But I'm like, yes, but he's our help all the time. Let's not forget he's here helping us, just right there for and all the little things. We don't have to wait for big trouble. He's our help. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, I would like to ask you that if there's a verse that that's really spoke to you and helped you, or like a favorite verse that you would like to share with us.
Yes. So I wrote it down so I'd be
Okay.
ready. So it's Matthew 8:3, and I'm reading the NIV version.
Mhm.
And it says, Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. I am willing, he said, be clean. Immediately, he was clean of his leprosy. And I think my favorite part is, I am willing. Anytime I am frustrated, I am feeling overwhelmed, and I'm going to God in my journal, that is the scripture he gives me every time. And it reminds me that he's willing to take over that situation that I'm trying to be in control of, that he
Yeah.
is willing to love me in spite of my faults when I feel like
Um,
I'm struggling as a mom, I'm not doing good enough as a mom, I'm
yeah.
not performing well enough as a wife. He is willing to just love on me as his daughter. And that's something that he is taking me down that journey right now, of truly being his daughter, of me truly allowing him to be my father. Because he is a good father. And so he always takes me to that verse, I am willing. And it's something about that
Mhm.
part that it just touches me every time he gives me that scripture when I am journaling.
Mhm.
It just reminds me that he's willing, that he's able, that he's
Mhm.
there, he's a present
Yeah.
help. And it just gives me that strength to know that he understands, he hears me, he sees me, he knows what I'm going through. And so that just gives me and blesses me every time he gives me that scripture.
Hmm. Oh, that does. I really like that and how you explained that. Yeah, and he's just wanting to bless us, with the blessings, with what his will is, and he wants us to be that willing vessel. He's looking for a willing vessel that he can dwell in and work through and speak through to others. And so,
Yes,
just
he
like he
is. And
says,
so he's
to
willing and
seek and
he's
not.
wanting you to be willing to be used by him to do what you're doing right here, using your podcast to spread the gospel, to let others tell their testimony of how God has brought them through. He wants us to be willing to put down ourselves and
Hmm.
our selfish ways that we can have and truly be used by him. So he's willing and he wants you to be willing. So must be willing together.
Yeah, yeah. He's looking for those willing people, those willing vessels that are really ready to lay their lives down for His. And that's when we find our life in Him, and it's a wonderful life. It's an abundant life. We go through the hard things like you've gone through the loss and grief, and I've been through loss and grief. We go through hard things, but in Him is an abundant life because we have that peace and that hope and that joy that only He can give us.
Go to daddy. Go to daddy. My tummy. Okay,
So
go to daddy. I'm sorry.
is it kind of that's okay. Is there kind of anything else that we haven't covered you want to share before we wrap our time up? Because I don't want to cut it short if we still got more to talk about.
Um,
Anything else that you really want to kind of share here or
I was thinking earlier before we got on, and I was asking God, was there anything like in particular He wanted me to share with the
Mhm.
people? Um, and the only thing I really got from Him is that He wants us to come to Him. He
Mhm.
wants us to come to Him for the big issues, but like we were saying
Yeah.
earlier, He wants us to come to Him for the small things. One
Hmm.
of the things I've learned through therapy was to, when you're writing out your to-do list, to ask God what's on your to-do list today, to truly
Hmm.
just seek him for even that. Even
Okay.
what should I cook for dinner, what should I wear, which route should I take to work. Like, he wants us to come to him for
Yeah.
everything. And so don't think that something's too small, too, it's too tiny that we can't seek him for it. You can go to him for the little things, the major things, everything. And so that was one of the things God really wanted me to kind of share with everyone, to not stop seeking him. Go to him for
Yeah.
everything.
Oh wow, that's good. That I think that it is just so important that I mean that's how then we're kind of doing life with him. And we've invited him into every little thing, and the more we get in the habit of doing that, that then he's our ever present help and just ever present, and then especially when the big things hit, that we're used to talking to him and doing life with him. Yeah,
Yes.
so that's good.
Yes.
Oh, I like that felt that you were to share that with us. That's good. Yeah.
Amen. Thank
Well,
you.
I've sure enjoyed our conversation. It's been a
I
good
did.
conversation. Yeah, and just all the things that you're doing to help others. That's what God does. When we allow Him into our lives, He helps us so that we can help others. He'll change and redeem and restore and refine those places in our lives so that we can be more fully usable vessel for Him.
Yes, he definitely does. And God is amazing. When you
Mhm.
kind of look back at the things that you've been through and to see that you're still filled with joy, you're still filled with love, you're still filled with peace. And, when
Mhm.
people ask, how could you, be how you are when you've been through so much? And I always say, it was God. It was no one but him. If
Yeah.
it wasn't for
Yeah.
him, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't still be here. It was him. It was
Yeah.
nobody but God.
Yeah. All God. That's good. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on this evening with me on Mighty Monday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Franchell, and all you're doing, and just what you continue to do to help others and to grow the relationship with God. All right, I'll have like your Bible in the description here and links so where they can find you and connect with you. So okay, well, you take care, and everyone else have a great week. I'll be back here next Monday, God willing. Have a great week,
Thank
and yeah,
you.
happy Mother's Day, everybody. Yesterday, and have a great. So Mother's Day every day, I think, when we're mothers, right?
Yes, 24/7. Bye bye.
Yeah. All right. Bless.